did you know that in High on Life, Nipulon will give you an achievement just to embarrass you? The achievement is called Spent 15 Hours at the Alien Strip Club. And even though you can tell your friends that you didn't spend 15 real-world hours in a virtual strip club, who's going to believe you now that you have this achievement?
How you doing? Need some motivation to keep going? How about an award? Here, take this one that says you spent all your in-game playtime at an alien strip club. Oh, that's permanent, by the way. Everyone on your friends list can see that forever now. How are you holding up? Facing some dark truths? Maybe things are a little confusing?
Hello and welcome to Hidden Video Game Details, the series that aims to show you things that you may not have known about your favourite games. Patreon backers and YouTube channel members for their awesome support. To learn more, click the link in the description. Anyway, without further delay, let's get started. Right, let's begin today's video by revisiting a detail from the last episode in this series. In that video, we discovered a game of Hangman in Hitman 2. And I wondered if the answer was Lickalotopus. Well, many of you pointed out that the word is probably hippopotamus, given the fact that a hippo can be found on the Santa Fortuna level. So whilst Lickalotopus is funny, unfortunately it doesn't seem like it was the right answer. Anyway, next up is The Getaway. The Getaway is an open-world action-adventure game set in London, with the events of the game taking place over the course of one day. Now, despite being over 20 years old, it could be argued that The Getaway is one of the most immersive games ever released. You see, the game had no map and no HUD. This meant that players couldn't rely on information that the character they were controlling wouldn't know. This, of course, extends to the driving. You couldn't set a waypoint, so how do you know where you're supposed to go? Well, long-time viewers of this series may recall my love for games with working turn signals. Off the top of my head, I can remember covering turn signals in Burnout Paradise and Saints Row 4. The thing is, The Getaway released long before both of those games, and as you can see, the turn signals were the only way to make it to your objective. Now, I don't know about you, but I wish more games at least offered this type of experience as an option. A no HUD, no map, no GPS playthrough of GTA 5 sounds awesome. Up next is Psycho no Sotoka. Psycho no Sotoka is a survival horror game where you must escape a crazy yandere girl who wants you dead. Now, despite being a game about survival, things aren't always bad. There will be points where the girl will be calm. I mean, she won't let you leave, but she won't stab you either. It's during these moments of calm that you can get close to her without fear of death. Though if you stare at her from a particular angle, she will not be best pleased. So trying to look up the girl's skirt will cause her to immediately kill you without warning. I mean, you kinda deserved it. Next up is the excellent Resident Evil 4 remake. Now, since its release in March, which feels like a lifetime ago at this point, we've covered loads of really cool details from the RE4 remake. But despite it is actually useful for those playing through the game on harder difficulty settings. At the beginning of Chapter 3, Leon needs to make his way back to the village square. When he does, a tower collapses and he's attacked by a group of very angry puppies. Well, did you know that there is a way to avoid this fight, therefore saving precious ammo? As you approach the village, you can find a lookout who, upon spotting Leon, runs off to warn his friends. Now, if you're quick and kill the lookout, when the tower collapses, the dogs are. The other Resident Evil 4 detail can be found after fighting the Garrador. That's the huge blind guy with claws for hands. When approaching the area, Ashley will say this.
What was that? Do they keep animals down here or something?
Well, after defeating the Garrador and reuniting with Ashley, if you take her downstairs and lead her to the Garrador's body, this interaction will take place.
About the animals, though.
You okay?
Yeah, no sweat.
Was this the animal?
No, you can't keep them.
Yeah, that's too bad.
So this conversation is very easy to miss, as I'm sure that many players would leave this area as soon as they meet back up with Ashley, and that's why I think it's a really, really cool detail. Okay, from a game about murdering hundreds of infected villagers, to a game about growing your own garden so that cute and fluffy creatures want to live there. Don't ever let it be said that I don't provide variety, at least for the Xbox 360 in 2008. As mentioned, it's up to you to grow various different plants and wait for a piñata to show up and call the area home. Now, despite looking and sounding pretty simple, Viva Piñata does slowly become more complex. It's a good job then that the game has a tutorial. Hosted by Leafos, the tutorial will teach you the basics of what it takes to be a piñata expert. Well, if you don't take too kindly to being told what to do, you can attack poor defenseless Leafos, who, surprise surprise, won't be best pleased.
If you try to hit me once more, I shall teach you a lesson. Right, I warned you. Have this piece of junk instead of your lovely shovel. That's it! I warned you. Let's see how you get on without your shovel for a while.
So if you continue to hit Leafos, not only will she turn your shovel into an old rusty shovel, but eventually she'll remove your shovel altogether, which makes playing the game impossible. Right, let's end today's video with Spider-Man Shattered Dimensions. Now, Shattered Dimensions released at a time when Spider-Man games weren't doing too great. I personally loved almost all of the 360 and PS3 era Spider-Man games, but critics weren't as easy to please. I mean, the best reviewed Spider-Man game of that era was Spider-Man Shattered Dimensions, and that averaged a 76 on Metacritic, which when compared to the last two Insomniac Spider-Man games, is kind of low. Still, despite not pleasing the quote-unquote games journalists at IGN and GameSpot, Shattered Dimensions did do a lot of things right. And one of those things was how it portrayed its characters. During the Deadpool level, you have to take down the man himself. In typical Deadpool fashion, he never shuts up. Now, some of you may take refuge in the pause screen, thinking that here you can finally get a moment to think. Well, I hate to break it to you, but you'd be wrong.
You're pausing on me. You're pausing on me? Well, I'm the only one here. Who do you think you're pausing on?
Now you're pausing just to pause. Admit it, you have a pausing problem. You're a pausaholic. Okay, Bear walks into a bar, says, "I'll have a lime and soda." Bartender says, "Why the big pause?"
Oh, look at the widow baby with the cute widow pause button.
Right, go ahead and pause whenever it's convenient for you. What about me? What about my needs? You pause too much. You know what? I'm just gonna keep saying this every time you pause now. The writer has more important dialogue to write for this game.
So even when the game is paused, Deadpool just won't shut up. And I love it. So that's it. If you enjoyed this video, then a like is really appreciated. Be sure to subscribe for more Easter eggs and details from your favourite games. Thank you all for watching, and I'll speak to you all soon.